Welcome guys. In this video we are going to learn about a very important function, that is Meshgrid. It takes two one dimension array, okay, small x, small y, okay, and produce the coordinate matrix. What a coordinate matrix is, let us say this is x axis, this is y axis. Coordinate matrix essentially gives the x coordinates and the y coordinates, so that we can compute a function of two or more than two variable, okay, two or more than two independent variable. अभी तक का हमने देखा कि suppose x was there, we used np dot linspace, okay, 0 to 10 we produced 100 numbers, and we also computed np dot sin x, and we plotted this, okay. So for how the plot was, for each element in x array, let us suppose that is xi, we got a corresponding element yi, okay, and if we do for all I, we did get a sine curve in this fashion, and if we join that, all of that, we get a curve in 2 dimension. But in 3 dimension case, where f of x is no longer only dependent on x, in that case what we have to do, okay. So in that case we need a coordinate matrix, a grid kind of a thing, which would give us appropriate x for appropriate y and appropriate y for appropriate x. So the function we are interested in is function ka shape is like f of x comma y, okay. It depends on two variables, okay. तो ऐसे फंक्शन का if we plot, we take x y on our regular xy plane, और z एक्सिस के along अगर हम f of x y को प्लॉट करेंगे तो कैसे होगा. I have to select a xi, I have to select a yi, and then I will get a zi, okay. And if I do this for all x and y, all possible combination of x and y in a given region, then I will get a curve. Let's say the curve I will get a surface in a 3D, okay, not a 2D curve.
So I might get something like this. Okay, so the curve is not looking good. That's my poor drawing skills, but what I want to tell you is a curve is something like this, which is a 3-dimension figure, okay. Maybe something like this. Fine. So anyways,
maybe like this, okay, it's better. The eraser did the trick. Fine. So yes, so if I choose a xi and yi, I will get a zi, okay. And if I do that for all xi yi, I will get the curve, I will get the surface. I am repeatedly saying curve, that's wrong, we are getting a surface, okay, fine. So how do we do that? earlier we generated the X array, okay, consisting of maybe 100 elements, length was 100, and if we generate the Y array consisting of same elements, if we compute, let's suppose f of x comma y is equal to 4 times x plus 5 times y, what will be the result? The result will be nothing but a array, let us call it Z, which is also 100 elements long. The length of the array is 100, and we are going to add the similar elements, okay, the same indexed element of X array and Y array by appropriate multiplication. So we are basically doing 4 times 0 plus 5 times 0, that is nothing but 0. Then we will do 4 times 1, 5 times 1, that is 9. Okay, we'll take the same indexed element from both the array and we will add. This will be the result. So in our case of plotting the curve, we will get a straight line, okay, along this 45-degree line on XY plane. So this didn't give us a curve. So where are we wrong? गलती कहाँ पर हो रही है? गलती ऐसा है कि we are taking only those ordered pair of x comma y where x and y are equal. Okay, so we are limiting our choice. So we need a technique by which we can consider all x and all y in a given region. Okay, so let's suppose our region is like okay, so let me erase. So let's suppose that on the xy plane our region is well defined. So y minimum is equal to x minimum, that is equals to 0. Y max is equals to 5 and x max is equal to 10. So we are here at the maximum points, right? We can go at max 5 along y and 10 along x. And at what point we want to compute the function f of x comma y? The points are all the integer points. Okay, let's suppose x is equal to a array starting from 0 ending at 10 having 11 element in between. Y is a array starting from 0 ending at 5 having 6 elements. Okay, this is the case. So y has 6 elements and x has 11 elements. Okay, so how do we do this? This is a challenge to us. Okay, so let us go ahead and try to plot this. How do we do that? I have a bit good axis here. So considering the same problem, x is starting from 0 comma 0, okay, 1 comma 0, y remains 0 on the x-axis, so on we will have 10 comma 0, and y along y axis we will have 0 comma 1, okay, and 1 comma 1, so on, 10 comma 1, and we will do this till we reach 5 on y coordinate, okay. तो ऐसे 6 rows we are having, and how many columns? 11 columns, okay. So this is 1 comma 5, and this is at the end and 10 comma 5, okay. These are our points where we are going to compute f, okay. So right, so how do we compute f? Let's say f is equals to 4x plus 5y, which we have considered earlier. So select a coordinate. Let's suppose this one. We have selected this coordinate 10 comma 1, where x is 10 and y is 1. We will get 40 comma plus 5, 40 plus 5, that is 45, right? And we plot it along the z-axis. But how do we get this matrix? That is the question, okay. That is the important question that we want to ask ourselves. How do we get this matrix? So we can get this matrix by using the function Meshgrid. But before that, let me explain to you how can we compute, correctly all this functions value at all these points, okay. Can we separate, this is generalized matrix, can we separate this matrix into two matrices? One matrix is x, another matrix is y. Can we separate this? Yes. So we can form the x matrix by considering, so we will select all the x coordinates, and we will place it. So x matrix is nothing but all the x coordinate 0 comma 1 dot n, and we have to do this for y max amount of time, okay, till 5. So we will have 6 such rows as discussed. This is the x matrix, and similarly we will have the y matrix. Let me write the y matrix here. Y matrix is nothing but all the y values, which is starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, okay. And the whole thing is getting repeated for how many number of time? For n number of time, okay, where n is nothing but 10 in our case. Basically 11, because we are also including 0, so n is 10 and we will have 11 such columns, okay. And so fine, so I went out of the screen. I hope that I conveyed the idea, so you can see it again. So y is something like this. right? Fine. So okay, so let us suppose we compute 4x plus 5y for few elements. That would give us a good idea. So for this element we have x as let's say 1 and y is 0, right? 4 times of this matrix will multiply every element with 4. Okay, so 4 times of this matrix will multiply every element with 4. That leads to 4 times 1, and we add 5 times of this matrix, that is 5 times of 0. Okay, so dimension of the matrix becomes same because of the type of arrangement we have done, and because of the splitting we are able to compute. So I hope that I made this idea clear, and if the idea is not clear, we will do something to make it clear. So we will do a lot of this in Numpy. So let us get started with the notebook. Okay, otherwise थोड़ा difficult है इसको समझना. Okay, fine. This is the Meshgrid. Import Numpy as np, import matplotlib dot py plot as matgrid. Matgrid is matrix grid. Okay, fine. So next step is, okay, I forgot to put the presentation below. I did nothing more than importing numpy and matplotlib. Okay, matgrid is what the alias I have given. Okay, ठीक है, फिर भी बता देता हूँ अभी आगे क्या करना है. Let us have x is nothing but np dot linspace from 0 to 10, 11 elements we want. Okay, so that if we have 11 elements, then we will have 0, 1, 2, 3. Otherwise, if I say 12, then we will have non-integer values with fractional parts. Okay, so y similarly is np dot linspace 0, 5, and we want 6 elements. And interesting thing here is x, capital X, capital Y, which are the coordinate matrices. np dot, what do we have to do? We have to use the Meshgrid function. Meshgrid, and we have to provide x, y. Okay, so let us see what is the result. Can we see x? Yes, we can see x. X is nothing but 6 rows of numbers from 0 to 10. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And what about capital Y? Capital Y is nothing but how many rows, right? We will not like to look it as rows, but we will like to look it as columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and 11 such columns. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then where is the 11th one? anyways it is hidden over here, this guys. So 11 such columns are there. But what is the interesting thing is I'll show you. Fine. So let us compute z. Z is nothing but 4 times capital X plus 5 times capital Y, एंड यहाँ पर बीच में इंटू सिंबल देना पड़ेगा. तो कैन वी कंप्यूट z कंप्यूट हो जाएगा. ओके फाइन. सो z वी हैव कंप्यूटेड. नाउ लेट अस इंटरप्रेट द रियल नॉलेज. अभी बनेगा क्योंकि अभी हम रीज़न करेंगे. ओके तो आप देख रहे हैं ये फर्स्ट एलिमेंट है, ये फर्स्ट आई मीन ज़ीरोथ कॉलम एलिमेंट. दिस इज़ द ज़ीरोथ रो फर्स्ट कॉलम एलिमेंट. ओके सो ऑन. सो what have we said? We were trying to map na. The mapping was, let's suppose we have this coordinate matrix और इसमें हमने हर coordinate के लिए we have computed f. But the idea was to call it this as z matrix. ठीक है. और as we try to map this z matrix to xy plane, this is the whole idea. आइडिया क्या है कि मैट्रिक्स जो है जिसको कोऑर्डिनेट के तरह लिखा गया है उसको एक्स वाई प्लेन के साथ मैप करना है. ओके सो दिस n हियर इज x मैक्स. ठीक है, ये x min है. फाइन. सो x इज इंक्रीजिंग इन दिस डायरेक्शन, increasing x, and y is increasing in this direction, y. Okay, so it is interesting that the columns, the increasing columns, okay, this is column 0, column 1, column 2, column 3, column n. So increasing columns are in direction of increasing x. What does that mean? Okay, so मुझे अगर चाहिए x n y 0 कोऑर्डिनेट के लिए, so which indexes should I refer from the z matrix? The indexes that I should refer is nothing but, yes, nth column n 0th row. Fine. Okay, so let us do that for this case. तो मैपिंग उल्टा हो गया है. इफ वी आर रेफरिंग टू, लेट्स सपोज, ये याद कर लीजिए अगर समझ नहीं आ रहा है. इफ़ वी आर रेफरिंग, समझ जाएंगे. इफ़ यू आर थिंकिंग अबाउट इट most of the time you will understand. If we are referring to, let's say, xi and ym coordinate, xi is somewhere here, ym is somewhere here, and this is our coordinate. So the appropriate reference we should make to z is z ym comma xi. Okay, so z happens to be our computed matrix. We can say this z as 4x plus 5y. Okay, so we have done that here. Z is nothing but 4x plus 5y. Okay, so can we check this for x is equal to 6 and y is equal to 2? So what should be the result? 10. 5 into 2 is 10 plus 4 into 6 is 24. 24 plus 10 should be 32. 24 plus 10 should be 34, sorry. So 34 is the result. I hope that I have made things clear. Okay, if I have not made things clear, I would make a extra video for this, but I don't think it's required. So one way of dealing with this, you can call this as x max. Okay, you can call this as y max, and if you are providing Meshgrid, तो आप चिंता मुक्त होके rest assured you will whatever function you are making with those coordinate matrix, they will give the right results. Okay, so but the philosophy remains the same. You are trying to break things down into a matrix whose addition or whose multiplication is going to give you the result. So you are breaking the coordinate matrix down into x coordinate matrix, y coordinate matrix, and if you club them, if you multiply them with some scalar and you club them, you will get the appropriate function matrix. Okay, function matrix is basically z, and if you want to refer to any row column, if you want to refer to any x y coordinate, then you interchange x with the row, x with the column position, and y with the row position, and then you can get the right x function for the right x and y value. Okay, so this was it. और फटाफट plot करके we will end the video, and in the next video we are going to deal with something important. So how do we plot z? Okay, to plot z, what we have to do is we have to do this. So we cannot use the same ax, fine. So ax we cannot use, the axis object, we have to change it a bit, fine. So let us go ahead and do the plotting here. So add subplot. Okay, the we have to call the plot dot figure function. Plot is nothing but in our case Meshgrid, fine. So Meshgrid dot figure, if I call that, and from that object if I call this, I am going to set the configuration for 3D plots. Okay, so we will get ax object in return, fine. Ax object we will have, and with that ax we have already done all this. With that ax we can plot the surface. Okay, ax dot plot surface, right? Next thing is ax dot plot underscore surface, x coordinate matrix, y coordinate matrix, and z coordinate matrix. All that we have to provide. Anything more? No, nothing more, fine. So we can go ahead and say Meshgrid dot show. We should get the result. Okay, fine. So yes, we have the result, and this is nothing but our plane. Okay, why this is a plane? Because as we increase x and y, increasing direction of x and y, so there is a linear increase. Okay, so lines, planes are analogous to lines in 3D. Okay, so that is something that we learn as we try to understand. Okay, yes. Anything else we have to do? Any more explanation regarding this? I don't think is required, but I would give some tips to think it in a way. fine. So let us say that